In today's video, we're checking out the Flamma FF20. This is a looper and drum machine in one, and it will only set you back $109. Let's get into it. Welcome back, folks. My name's Shane. You're listening to my attempt using the Flamma FF20 looper and drum machine. That's right, this is a two-in-one, and this can be used either with or without the drum machine, and there's plenty of different drum options to choose from, whether you're playing rock, jazz, blues, metal, reggae, or whatever. There's plenty of options in this menu system to get the drums that work best for your particular style. I just picked one of them to do that intro track, so I hope you liked it. Now, I'm also going to share with you how to set up this pedal for looping with or without the drum machine. So if you're just getting started with this, it will act as a bit of a tutorial guide. There's 11 different styles of drum machine, and then inside of that, there's 20 different options. So there's plenty to choose from. Say, for example, you go into the rock setting, there's a whole bunch of sub-menu options with different feels. So you can pick the right one for your particular style of playing. Now, this allows you to record up to 200 minutes of stereo audio, all internally, which I really like. So you can go through 100 different patches on here and save up to 100 different settings, as long as you don't exceed that 200-minute limit. One of the great things about the drum machine that's built into this is you can have it set up so as you hit the record button on this side to start the looping process, it will count you in, which really helps with your timing. These kind of expose your timing flaws if you're not used to using a looper pedal. There's some coordination that needs to go on, but having it start after the count in is really cool, or you can set it up so that it will auto record as soon as you start playing, which also helps you. I'll give you a full rundown of how the controls work in just a moment, but it's a really versatile unit. We get a left and right mono input and left and right mono output. I'll be recording in mono, so I'll just be using these two on this side. If you like to practice with headphones, you've got a headphone socket over here and a USB-C port on this side for updating the firmware. Runs on 9-volt, 300 milliamps, and the great news is it comes with a power supply, which is awesome. But if you've already got a professional power supply that can handle 9 volts at 300 milliamps, then it will work with this as well. I tested it. Here's the box. It comes with 2 different colors here as well. So if you prefer blue, you can get blue, but I really like this orange. I think it actually looks pretty great. Now, I'll timestamp each section down in the description box below. Again, this will act for more of a tutorial than it's just a straight up review, but I'm also going to give you my thoughts about this at the end, because there's a few things that I really love about it and a few things that took me a while to get used to. But overall, it's pretty sweet. Massive thanks to Flamma for sending this out and sponsoring this video. If you want to take a look at this, I'll link it down in the description box. Now, for this particular video, I'll be running my pedals into this and then out into the amp. So that'll be my recording setup. Everything will be set to mono. All right, let me give you a quick rundown of how to use this. So if you just want to loop without the drum machine, you can, and I'll show you that to begin with. So this button over here is our record, playback, undo, and redo button. And you've also got your tap tempo, stop, and clear button on this side. Now, without setting up the drums, you can just start and stop recording using this button over here, and I'll show you some examples of that right now. So I'll just layer up a simple bass line to begin with. You can see looking at the screen here that we've got our light flashing, which is our timing, and it's also counting 1, 2, 3, and 4 across the front, which is great. It's just a visual indication of where you are, which is always a good thing. So let's add something else here. We'll add an overdub using this button. So I added a few layers there, and I added some modulation and a few little bits and pieces off on my pedal board, but you get the point now. This will just keep playing, which is pretty great. Gives you a lot of inspiration to come up with little ideas and songs and so forth. Let's add some overdrive for some solo stuff. Now say for example I made a mistake, I left my overdrive on while I added a layer, which is fine, but say I didn't want this last layer, all I have to do is hold this button down. And it disappears, which is pretty cool. I'm going to add that same thing again, but cleaner now. Now let's say for example I want the background music or the loop to be louder. All I need to do is turn this up. I just stopped the loop just by hitting this button. Now, if I want to clear this completely, all I have to do is hold this down and it will wipe it from the memory. You'll see that little broom icon come up on screen, and then we're back to where we were, which is pretty cool. Now, what I have noticed is it keeps the tap tempo light flashing, but if you want to get out of this and then back, it'll be back to basically brand new on that particular patch. So that's really cool. Now, the whole idea for me with loop pedals is just to have some fun and to get some ideas down. Anytime I've written an album, I've always used them as a tool to see how it feels to play over it, to come up with different parts, and it forces you to play some different chords and different ideas to make it all work. So it's really cool in a simple capacity just like that. Let me show you how to navigate the menu here and what some of the basic functions do. So to get into the menu, all you have to do is tap on this button right here. It will bring up this screen. Now by default, it's set to the arrow, and the arrow is how you get back. So you can use this to enter the menu and get out of it. So we go back in, and we can use this same wheel here to go through some of the menu options. You can see the capacity here. It says 1 minute of 300 minutes used. We've got our play mode set to record, play, dub. Now you can change this if you want to record, dub, play, which means as you create a loop, it will then automatically go back into record mode, which is dub mode. And then if you hit it, it will go to play mode. By default, it's set to record, play, dub, which means it will record first, then you'll be in playback mode, and to record again, you'll need to hit this. The stop mode option on here allows you to decide what happens when you hit the stop button. So by default, it's set to immediately. So if you hit the button, it's going to stop. There's also a one-shot mode here and a fade out short and long. So if you want the loop to fade out, you can leave it set to long or short. I think this is a really great option. We've got our input and output settings here. By default, it's set to mixed, and if you want to do a full factory reset, you can hold this button down and the unit will preset itself. Let's take a look at these three buttons in the center. So our auto record option gives you the ability to arm the unit for recording or looping as soon as it's detected that a signal is going through it. So as soon as you start playing your guitar, it will immediately begin recording. And this might be an easy way to get started if you're not comfortable with timing or whatever using the actual record button on this side. The tap tempo button allows you to set a tap tempo with the drum machine. So you can tap it like this and it will begin flashing in time. You can also use this button over here. I'll do it slower so you can see. Now the light is flashing much slower. To get into all the different drum machines and options, all you need to do is hold this button down and it will bring up the drum machine menu here. So from the genre, we've got pop, funk, blues, rock, metal, jazz, fusion, punk, Latin, country, reggae, and that's all of them. So that's all 11. Then if we say pick rock, let's go back to rock, we can go into pattern here, and then there's all of these different patterns you can choose from, all the way up to 20. So it gives you plenty of different feels. These are the types of options within that rock menu. So there's plenty to choose from. You can change the drum level, which is the volume, by using this menu right here if you need to. By default, it's pretty much spot on. And our beats per minute can be set this way if you prefer to set it manually. Say you know the song you want to play is at 106 beats per minute, you can set it up in the menu that way rather than using the tap tempo. Once you've decided that this is all right, all you need to do is go back up to the return button here. It will take you back and that drum groove is ready to rock and roll in here. You can see that it says 106 beats per minute here with the one that we selected on this side. This looper control over here sets how much volume on playback we get. So once you've recorded a part, if it's not loud enough, you can turn it up, and if it's too loud, you can turn it down. Just know the more layers you record, generally speaking, the louder the signal is going to get. So 0 is about unity, and then you can adjust it accordingly as you go. To get to the next empty preset bank, all I need to do is use this dial left and right, and I can find the one that I've just recorded, or of course go to any of these 100. It's 100 because 0 is included. So yeah, it goes all the way from 0 to 99. This is a 2-inch display and I haven't had any problem seeing it on the floor or on the desk or whatever. I'm right behind the camera right now and I can see it, no problems whatsoever. So yeah, visibility on this is pretty great. Up next, I'm going to create a loop using the drum machine here. Now, I'm also going to change the drum feel because the standard one's good, but I want a different one. So I'm going to hold this button down. I'm going to go into this first option, push the button, it'll go green, and then we can start to cycle through all of the different drum machines here. So let's go into funk. I like this one. And then you can see the tap tempo button is flashing. That's our current tempo. To get out of this, you've got to go to the arrow, hit it, and you're back to here. Now you can also tap tempo using this. That's about right for me. That's right about where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do now is hit this drum machine button over here, and you can see that it's now armed. So when I hit this button to start my loops, it will count us in, and then it will start recording. And I've added some modulation for this first sort of funky part here. The drums really help you get on time too, which is great. Let's add another layer. Go bridge and middle. All right, let's add a proper bass line here. Neck pickup, toned down. There's my loop. So let's have some fun here. Let's crank the delay. A little bit of overdrive. told you, I go out of time with these things too. But it's great practice because, you know, if you're learning to solo as well, you can come up with some really cool chords and then just play on time. And that drum machine really enforces the timing of your playing over the top of it. So yeah, these are really cool. Let's say, for example, I want to save something that I've recorded inside the memory of the Flamma FF20. All I need to do is hold this down and it will come up as saved complete, and that is it. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm going to talk about ease of use, build quality, and then a few considerations here. So overall, I think this is a really easy unit to get going if you just want to do some basic looping. That's where it really shines. My only criticism with the overall user interface here, and based on its price, it's inexpensive, right? I wouldn't expect this, but I found myself wanting to use the screen like a touch screen a few times. So you've got to get used to using the menu wheel over here, but once you do, it's not so bad. Just know getting into some of the drum menu options will take a little bit of getting used to. You got to hold down the drum machine button, use the menu wheel over here, click in there and find the right groove, all that kind of stuff. So there is a little bit of a learning curve there, but just for straight up looping, this is a really great unit, whether or not you're using the drum machine or not. What I really like about it is I can just set up a simple 4/4 groove, hit the drum machine, tap tempo it, go over, start my loop, it will count me in, and then I'm good to go. So that really, again, helps with the timing. The build quality on the Flamma FF20 is also very good. While it is plastic and it only weighs 250 grams, it does feel kind of light, but it doesn't feel cheap. The plastic enclosure is fine for a unit like this. The buttons feel really nice and solid, and I don't think you'll have any problems with it. All the buttons on the front are super clicky as well, which is great, including the wheel here. So yeah, in terms of build quality, it's not a problem. At the end of the day, the Flamma FF20 is exceptional value, being that it only costs 109 bucks. It's pretty crazy what you can get for your price these days. But anyway, let us know what you think. Thanks again for watching. My name's Shane. I will catch you on the next one. See ya.